Hello, Ariane.
Hello,
So,
Nadia.
congratulations on becoming international officer of International Filmmaking Association, IFA. So,
Thank
let
you.
me start with the obvious. Obviously, everybody knows Ariane, I believe. Like it's like um but maybe there is somebody who doesn't. So I would like you to tell us a little bit more about your background in filmmaking. How did you come to it? What inspired you? So just tell us about Ariane before IFA.
Thank you so much, Nadia. How did I came to felt making? In fact, I'm trained as an architect and I worked as a graphic designer at this time. And somehow I was missing to get in touch with the material. I was always a creative mind, and then I wanted to make my own head. And yeah, somehow I discovered filmmaking. At this time, there was nothing on the internet, so I took a good book and I started. I just started in the kitchen, like a lot of us, I think. And yeah, little by little, I felt that there are so many possibilities. It calmed me down. It helped me a lot to yeah, get out of my busy life as a graphic designer and mother. At this time, my daughter was just born, so I needed a little bit me time. And this is how everything started.
Brilliant. I always recommend people to use kitchen as a starting point. I think the height of the worktop is so brilliant for your back and everything
Mm.
before you kind of have all the specialist high tables, etc., in your studio.
Yeah. However, it was on my floor. I didn't have the table because there's not enough space in my kitchen. So
Wow.
I was working a lot on the floor at that time. But I was only 30 years old, so it was still possible.
I watched some artists working on the floor and I take my hat off.
Mm.
It's really, I don't think I would be able to do that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, in Central Asia, there are also rugs doing on the floor.
Mm.
Like when I think Ariane, I see obviously hats, and you mentioned them, and your vests.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more where you take the inspiration for them? We just had an AGM and we were talking about creativity. It would be great to hear
Mm.
where do you take your creativity for the work? Do you have that rigid regiment, like a routine? You come and you meditate, you do things, or you are more of
Mm.
like you came from the walk and you just rush to the materials and you
Mm.
start
Mm.
creating. So
Mm.
who are you,
Who
Ariane?
am I? Yeah, in fact, I don't have a ritual, but everything that you mentioned, the meditation, the walk, everything is inspiration and where creativity comes from. One of the things that I do on a regular basis is going to the swimming pool. I love to plunge for half an hour into the water, and there I can really manage a lot of ideas. But I really think that the work of an artist never stops. You have always your mind in your mind, the ideas they're coming up just by yeah talking with friends, going out, everything. And I'm happy as well to be close to Paris, so I love to go to expositions. I love to go to see other artists. Finally, I decided to make heads or heads. I decided. I'm not sure I decided. I believe that there's a lot of inspiration and intuition that is just coming up. I read a very good book, The Big Magic. And in there, she is saying that we are not looking for inspiration. Look, the inspiration comes to us. And I really think this is so true. Yeah, it just happened that I started with hats and vests because I wasn't able to do art only for art. I need a function. Somehow it protected me to say I'm a crafter more than an artist because this was socially better accepted than if you go there and say, I want to become an artist, I want to make art. But somehow this is what I was always looking for. I always wanted to go into the art direction. And the heads and the art vests are in fact sculptures and paintings. I just turned around and made them somehow functional in the beginning. And nowadays I allow myself more to make sculptures and paintings without absolutely going to transform them in heads and artworks.
Brilliant. I have to admit, I got inspiration from yourself. So I kind of thought that art to keep only on the wall and sometimes in private collections, it's just so not right. Art needs to walk on the streets, and I like the ideas of flash mobs, etc. And then I saw your logo, like wearable art, and I just loved it so much. So yeah, vests I also very much love them as well.
This is one of the main issues as well, putting the art into everyone's clothing. And yeah, it's somehow inspired by the Bauhaus in the 30s. In UK, it was the arts and crafts, where finally everything should be art. And yes, I still sign this one.
And it is like when people wear brand names, I said like, okay, that doesn't actually it okay, it still tells us who you are. Yes, obviously, every clothing for me is a message. But I really like that with what we do, we can help people to express themselves in so many different and unique ways and to show the world who they really are.
Yeah.
So
And
yes,
you're mentioning something that is really important for me as well, is the interaction with the artwork and the one who is wearing it. So there's always the possibilities in my creations to turn them around, to manipulate them different. The heads are movable. So I really think that everybody is an artist. And yeah, something that you said as well, that people should get in touch with what they are wearing. Yeah.
absolutely. And especially if you're wearing a vest, it's their interpretation. They accessorizes with everything else what they're wearing it with, whether it is beautiful glasses or top or their shoes, yes, or even the makeup. So that yes, definitely it is a collaboration which I really love as well. So now I would like to slowly, you mentioned about the social aspect, etc. And I want to slowly move to your role as an international officer at International Feltmakers Association. You are an international officer, so your role is to actually be with, to connect with people from different countries, etc. And then you already mentioned you live in near Paris, and your first photo book was in German, and we speak English here.
Yes.
So you are kind of this logo of internationalism, and your art is known internationally. So how do you understand, after following Henny, your role as an international officer of IFA?
It's Henny who asked if I wouldn't like to become the international officer. We met several years ago, and you're right. I'm speaking German, English, and French, and I think this was one of the things that made Henny think of me. I was very interested by this role because I really like the connection that can be made through art, and especially nowadays with possibilities we have online. I was so amazed during COVID that everybody was talking about social distanciation, and I have been in a classroom with 8 persons from 8 different countries. And this is what I love. And I love to be connected with a common passion. I think that there can be, we can break borders, we can open the world, we can get together, mixed together like the fibers. And this is what I always loved and I'm interested in as an international officer. Yeah, and with Henny, it was always a very good understanding. So she helped me to get a little bit into the back office. I think this is very important to see that everyone who's working here is volunteer. Everybody's putting a lot of love and time into this association. And it's very important that everybody who is a member is also part of this association and should take part in it. And yeah, my role that I see is to maybe give the spark to others to say, hey, come do something, a little something can make a big thing if you are doing it all together. And this is where I want to be one of the facilitators. Yeah. So this is the role that I'm seeing. I want to get in contact with the feltmakers from all over the world, through the regions. Yeah.
And you didn't sit quietly for a long time. Ariane came for the committee meeting in just before the AGM annual general meeting, which we had in April, and she came already with the project, with a big interesting project where we can connect artists from different parts of the world to display their work. But stop, Nadia. Let's Ariane to talk.
A word that I love that my students always hear is serendipity. It means things are coming together like they should. And in the same time that I was thinking of becoming the international officer, one of my students talked about a project she has in Austria to do a hiking trail, felted art hiking trail. And I thought this is a beautiful project, and it was exactly what I said before, that finally there are people who are doing small things, or in this case even big things, but it can take such a great dimension if you are working on it all together. And therefore brought in the project from Michi Kunzfeld, to name her. So she is an Austrian feltmaker who has the support of her municipality to change an existing hiking trail into a felt art hiking trail. So I think this is a great opportunity to get people to know about felt making, to show artists' works, to connect also together. But because there's also a project with flags, so there's an installation that will be made where everybody who can felt or want felt can contribute with a little flag that will be put on a line, and this is which will adorn the hiking trail. So there is already this connection on this line. I really love this image. I think it's great. If I just can see already the flags with people from all over the world, because the idea is also to indicate where do you have felt it, where are you from, your name and everything. So yeah, I'm getting already excited, you see.
Yeah. Yeah, when you told me about it, the same like with yourself, I'm quite visual person. So I had this line, and I quickly, also technical person, quickly went on the website and checked the distance, and they said, oh, okay, we have quite a few flags. So yes, the felting community, that would be a brilliant opportunity to put your name on a hiking trail in Austria, and you never know, you might want to take that trail yourself. It's a beautiful area. And what also is I liked about this project, because as IFA we talk about felt, quality felt, but also what is in felt is it's a natural product, it's biodegradable product. And what I loved as well in Michi's idea is that those felt installations will be there for the mercy of nature, and they will we ask to them, and they will have like regular updates to see how the nature and everybody who lives in the nature can influence the work we do, and see how that embellishes, or in fact how the felt disintegrate,
Transforms.
so I'm really looking at forward to this project.
Yeah, and this is the particularity of this project, because hiking trails, felt art hiking trails, I think there have been several projects already, but most often it was on a short term, so 2 months or something. And this installation will stay there for as long as it goes. And if the work is rooting or getting disgracious, then the organizers will decide to replace it. So it's also a turnover, so that several artists can maybe participate in this. There will be 20 stations where 20 selected artists or group of artists can show their work. And yeah, these spots will be redecorated as soon as it needs.
And just to tell our readers, we will have more information about this project. Check our blogs and social media to keep in touch. And we will also link you to the website, so where you can actually learn about the project from the first hands of Michi. You mentioned, and in this project, we kind of showcase what we can do in order to promote the felt and how we can bring community together. But you, Michi, also, you mentioned flags, also already planned something in order to bring communities together. What you are doing is connecting people, like you were saying, from all over the world. Tell us, what are your plans for bringing people together in the frame of this particular project?
Michi and I plan to do a conference felt along session. So it's on 10th of June. You can write it in your agenda right now. We will offer a 2-hour 30 meeting. So it will be on Zoom. You can connect. It's for free. And the idea is that in the first part, we will explain, or Michi will explain a little bit more about the project. If there are any questions about it, it's the moment to ask them. And then we will split the, I hope, 100 people who are joining, because this is the limit of Zoom, into small groups so that you can connect and file together. So it's not a workshop, it's a meeting to file together, to exchange and get connected, hopefully with people from all over the world. We will do it on Monday. So the 10th June is a Monday at 6:30. So it's allowing America to join. It's in the morning. And yeah, the only one who have to stand up in the middle of the night is Australia, I guess. So, but everybody is welcome. A lot of people coming to my workshop feeling isolated because there are not felters right in the neighborhood. So this is the moment as well to connect and maybe see that finally you're not that far from each other. And I hope the region will jump in as well and offer something similar. So I will contact them to spread the idea, and hopefully there are more of these kinds of happenings. And of course, if you are hearing this and you're willing to do something, that would be great. So we are here to support you, the whole IFA team.
Yeah. So yes, we will leave the contact details, and if you would like to organize maybe in person, you have some photos around you, and you would like to get together and to have that social fouting together and put your mark on the hiking trail in Austria, that would be so great. And we are expecting to have the updates from the trail, and you never know, maybe in those updates you will see your flag, or if you are submitting your art piece there. So more information about it will follow. And thank you, Ariane, for bringing it to our attention. Okay, thank you very much, Ariane. And
thank you so much, Nadia.
And I hope you will enjoy your terms at IFA, and we will have a lot of projects with our community.